Hi there and welcome. This is Barbara Pask from Ohio. I'm going to paint a 5x7 painting for you tonight. I have set up, let me take you over here and see if I can show you. Hate to move you. It's always difficult to get you back. A jar of green sliced olives. I'm doing this for several reasons. I like painting glass. I like jars. I like things with lids. I thought maybe it would look cool to see the olives. Whole olives might have been better, but we do have pimentos here and there showing through. I have put a screen around it with a light on it. The only thing I didn't do is a lot of times I'll put a screen on the top too to block the ceiling light. Maybe I should have done that. You know, I try to limit the number of light sources. It would be great to have a studio with a north-facing window, but I don't feel like I'm picking up a lot of other reflections, so it's not too bad really. I'm using my view catcher to design my composition, and I have adjusted for what I think looks like 5x7. Some of the sizes are on there, as you can see, but not for a 5x7. So should be nice and tight. So that's what we're doing. So we'll take a brush, maybe a fairly chunky brush. You know, to sketch with, really probably better would be a tiny brush, but to me it doesn't matter because I'm not trying to like paint in the lines once I get my sketch on, so if it's not a real precise sketch, it doesn't matter to me a whole lot. All right, we'll look through there. I do like seeing the shadow that runs behind it. I like seeing, this is one of those things that's going to be kind of, maybe we'll pull it off to the left just a little bit. Not, you know, not dead center. We'll keep it off to the left a little bit. So I'm making some little marks. Looks like the lid's trying to, you know, fill the canvas. You know, will it make it larger than life? It probably will come about life size, I would think. So we'll mess around. There's lots of ways I could have went at this sketch. I considered wiping out, you know, blocking in the whole thing dark and wiping out, but, and you can see with this big fat chunky brush that getting a real precise sketch is a little bit difficult. So as I go down the bottle, I'm looking for any little landmarks to help me get where I need to be. I see a little line in the glass there, a little line in the glass there. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Now that we've started this, if it's going to be that fat, then that lid's going to be much bigger, huh? I have a tendency to try to paint life size, which if you brought it right up here next to me, it might be approximately this size. You know, I did think about, I've done things on strings, you know, several paintings, and I thought about hanging these on a string. I'm probably going to wipe off anything I think is going to get in my way. And I'm just, again, looking at things on the label, anything to help me get the size approximately correct. If all else fails, you get in your closet, in your kitchen cupboard and see what looks fun to paint, right? I've done a lot of jars over the years, spaghetti sauce and all things like that. It can be fun. Kind of blocking in the shadow that I see too, which we'll see how that works at the end. It may not. Never painted olives. I'm going to wipe some of this off because that's quite a bit of paint on there. Now, if you were painting from a photograph, you could turn your photograph upside down, which I would recommend, and look at the shape of it. It's a really good way to check yourself. I've been squeezing out tubes of paint, so I've got paint on myself, using my paint roller that I love. Again, I've showed you that many times, this metal paint roller, it's wonderful. So, red paint around the fingernails. Typically, I've got paint on myself before I even start painting. Somehow I managed to do that. All right, so we're looking for the darkest darks that we see. I see them randomly here and there in the bottle. Like always, I'm not trying to think too much about what we're doing here. Today I went out to plein air paint with my group, and plein air is a whole nother level of painting. You know, you get there, you walk around, try to find something that excites you to paint, and a lot of times nothing does. So you know, and I'm looking to be in the shade if I can, and I would like light on my subject. It's, you know, it's not for the faint of heart. So I didn't like what I did today. I ended up wiping it off. You know, it happens. You can't just let it go. Painting's hard anyway, and like I say, plein air painting adds a whole nother element to it. It really does. Cleaning my brush, cleaning it in water because these are water mixable oils. All right. Basically we have the darks in, and we could kind of start wherever we wanted. I can barely see up on top of the lid. As I stretch up, there's a little bit of a red color there. The lid's silver. So let's just start with the lid. A little blue and white. I'm actually just going for a gray. All three primaries and white. You know, and there's some areas of it as I look up on that lid that are lean more toward blue. Of course, we have nice highlight on it. That'll help us a lot. Like everything, values are more important than the color anyway. If you live in the Cincinnati area, Sunday I'll be we have it's called Handmade Market at the Cottle Park, and I guess it's Deerfield Township. Again, it's called the Handmade Market, and they do it every year. There's about 75 artists in tents outside. I'm going to be dropping off some work inside the house because our Monday group, we're going to do that, and then my plan is to demo outside someplace. So if you come, look for me. I'm thinking right now, we'll see what appeals to me at the time, but I'm thinking right now maybe a food truck, one of the food trucks would be fun, with some people maybe. Last year I painted outside. I set up in a spot and painted some of the tents looking back toward there's a big house on the property, and that's what I did last year. So hopefully it goes well and I get something nice. And if you're embarrassed to do that kind of thing, you can start something ahead of time, and that way you go in with a painting that's partially there. Might make you feel better, because a lot of people don't understand the process of painting, and again, this is a big brush to be doing little detail. Again, the upside of that is we're not going to get too tight with it. I think I'm going to try to get rid of more of this that I put on here. I was trying to locate where the label was so I could, get the approximate shape of the bottle that way. But I don't want to fight that dark color too much. Did my usual tone on my canvas. I really like seeing the color through there. Most of the olives are basically the same color. They're kind of, olive green, haha, right? But they are. And when you mix up blue and yellow, they lean more toward yellow. There's different ways you could go at this. You could block in the whole yellow-green shape in the jar, and then come back and add the darks and the pimentos, and any way you want to go about it. Again, a lot of it is just I work instinctively. I just kind of usually figure out things as I go. And hopefully the darks will help define what this is eventually, and the pieces of pimento. Okay, the label goes about to there, I think. the gal that I painted by today, she had wiped hers off before, right away, you know. And we were just talking about how humbling painting is. So it's so difficult, and I don't care how long you've been doing it. It's it's just very hard, and every time is hard. But again, I think it's part of what keeps us coming back to it, is the challenge of it. Trying to see what I'm seeing with this label. Huh, it's really unusual. It's kind of transparent. And they say painting is a learned skill. And there, of course, you can learn all the rules, and you can, but I always say it's about brush mileage. And again, you never master it, so don't beat yourself up. Like I say, every painting you sit down to do is an experience. And sadly, some people never quite seem to really get it, you know what I mean? I always say there's no wrong reason to paint. If you're enjoying it and you never get very far with it, it doesn't matter. But if your intention is to sell, I mean, if that's what's important, look for a good teacher and start with the basics. Sometimes people get ahead of themselves and they don't want to go back, and you almost have to sometimes start over. They skip by a lot of the basic stuff, and you need that. You need an understanding of value and color mixing and edges, and so much. So again, if you skipped by that stuff, you need to consider. And it never hurts to refresh yourself. A few years ago I did a workshop with Sarah Sedgwick, and it was basically, you kind of had to know your stuff, but we were doing value paintings in grays and basic things, and limited stroke paintings, and I enjoyed it though. And I could have said I'm past this, but I don't think you ever are. Kind of putting in the area where the lettering's going to go. I'm just jumping around wherever I feel I should be. Mixing up an orange color. There's an orange strip on the front of this. Trying to get that approximate color. I saw a commercial the other day where they had people paint a jar of ketchup, and they claimed everybody painted Heinz ketchup. I thought, I don't know, would I have done Heinz? Would I have done Hunt's? I don't know. one of the gals I know here local, I put a painting on yesterday. I did a still life, and she's like, when are you going to start teaching? I'm ready. I thought that was very flattering. I don't know if I ever will, you know. It should make you happy, and I don't know if that's what I want to do or not. If you don't tone your canvases, you should consider it, because it's so nice having that color on the background. You know, it kind of fills in areas that you don't paint. It's just really nice. Can darken this a little bit over on this side. Where it goes away from the light. I don't know how this will come out, but that's okay. I'm enjoying myself, and you know, I'll work on the shape of the jar too when we go to painting in the background. Kind of suggesting some olive shapes, and the pimento is kind of orangey. So I think I'll use that orange that I have on here, and then I'm going to put more red. See how that looks. We went to a place today that had a sunflower field by it, but they were pretty much done for, which that can be, you know, interesting too. I did get a few photos. The droopy, you know, with the droopy heads, and if you're lucky enough to get some photos with some birds on them, I think that can be very interesting. Seeing a lot of pimentos up there. It seems like most of them have dropped to the, but I can paint whatever I want, you know, whatever I, and we're probably going to get out a little brush and work on some of this lettering, and probably some more definition between the olives. Last year, if you remember, I went up to Door County, Wisconsin for that workshop, and I've been seeing a lady up there. She's up there. I don't know if she's doing a workshop or what they're doing, but she keeps posting photos of areas. It makes me want to be back up there. I recognize, you know, stuff she's posting, and she's painting an area. I was inside a workshop for 4 days, so I didn't really get to paint in the area at all. up a little bit of it. Let's play around here. Let me get out my liner brush. It's a long, kind of gnarly one. I'm going to go into some of this dark and maybe try to explain some of these olives a little more, I'm thinking. To suggest some olive shapes. Like I said, full olives might be fun too, you know. Wouldn't you think that the olives would be a little brighter on this side? Stick into my tape. Here. Okay, I'm going to get a different brush, a smaller little brush. All right, let's look at some of this stuff here. One for pure cobalt blue. I'm just going to be sticking to this, nothing to do about it. You know, I'm not worried about exactly replicating what's on there. could see kind of what's up in this label. Can't even tell what that is. Doesn't really matter. Something orange. Tomorrow is supposed to be really pretty, so might get out and paint. It's definitely turning into fall around here, but that's a beautiful time of the year, and you know, before we know it, winter will be here, so thinking about that. Goodness sakes, I just keep sticking to that. This says pimento, but I'm not really, I mean, I'm kind of thinking about that, but I'm not trying to really exactly put that on there. Okay, down here, there's a little curved white label. Don't know if that adds anything to it. Here's another little circle. let's put something on the background and then we can think more about what we want to do. The shadow back here just kind of mirrors the shape of the bottle. I didn't really care for that, so the bottle's just kind of angles down. We may have to, straighten up the other side when we get there. Mixing up new color, and it may vary a little bit. If it does, it's okay. We'll bring some of it over here too. And probably what we'll do is turn this jar over and check this shape when we get there to make sure it's symmetrical. Kind of goes like, out at the bottom. So all right, we're going to get a little lighter and a little warmer toward the bottom. See if we like that. I think a little simple painting like this can be cute, like in your kitchen. I'm going to go over that and lighten that up. Last week I painted out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I went out to paint on Friday and ended up in a town north of here and tried to get out of the way. Actually, I had intentions of filming, and I ended up parking next to looked like a broken down truck, junk setting out around it, and ended up being a homeless guy living in it, so kind of freaked me out a little bit, so I didn't stay there. after I got partly set up, I heard him coming out of there. I thought, oh no, and he looked at me real scary, and I said, am I okay here? He just kind of nodded and walked off, and then this couple showed up. I don't know if they helped him or but they showed up looking for him, and I said, he walked off, and I said, is he living in here? And the guy said, yeah, and I said, am I safe here? And he said, I think so. And I thought, I'm leaving, you know. Got to listen to your instincts, right? And I just felt I should go. Yeah, kind of tapers in like that a little bit at the bottom, so I was trying to get that. I thought it might make it more interesting. Trying to suggest a shadow with without getting too dark. Maybe I'm not dark enough yet. Trying to kind of look at the shape of this. Make sure I feel like I got it. There's actually, you know, the highlight that's here and here is actually on a little ridge that's on the glass. Will kind of suggest those. This little thing here, I don't know if that added anything or not. It's like a little thing that says quality on it. And the same up here, there's kind of a couple ridges. All right, does it feel like olives? making sure that feels dark enough over there. You know, a lot of things like this, well, most things, as you would get over here toward the light, of course it would get lighter. But I'm not really seeing that so much with these olives. I'm wondering if it might improve it if I lightened up a few of them, you know. Always had a home phone, but I can tell you I'm considering having it taken out. You know, our daughters know they can call us on our cell phone, and they're about the only ones that call the home phone that I want to talk to. All day today it was calls about, did you get your Medicare card? One of them I played along with just to see what they would ask for. Of course, they want to get your card and have you read off that number, you know. And it's like, you called me, you give it to me, and I'll see if it matches up. It's like, no, that is, you know, like that isn't how it works. You have to, no, I don't know who in the heck you are. I'm not giving you anything. So, oh my gosh, it just, you know, it's annoying. And apparently, sadly, they must scam enough people that, you know, they keep doing it. So they must make a living at it, I guess. You know, I'm leaving some of that orange poking through, as you can see. Seeing what that looks like, trying to define the edge of that bottle a little more. Get up. I haven't gotten away from it all, and we'll put the mat around it and let you take a look at it. Ideally you step back a lot, you know, and I haven't been doing that at all, so might be a rude awakening for me when I do, right? Here it is, approximately cleaned up. Give you an idea. I did a little thing there that I'm going to do away with because I kind of lost that. I tried to darken the edge, and I think it needs to be lighter. So, all right, so I'm going to look at it. You hear him playing with it. But it was a fun subject. I hope you enjoyed it. We spent we're less than an hour here, and I almost hung it on a string. Did I tell you that? Things on a string. All right, I have to look at it. I may like I say, I may need to make some adjustments. I'm not quite sure I'm loving the way the label looks, so. But like and subscribe if you haven't. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Follow me if you want, and because sometimes I'll tweak these quite a bit, and then that way you could see the finished painting too. All right, thank you for joining me. I had fun, and watch for me next time. Like and subscribe. Good night.